everybody, welcome back to my channel. Happy Halloween. This year I'm hosting a haunted dinner party at my house. So today I'm transforming my dining room into a spooky gothic Victorian era dining room. So I'm going to be sharing where I got some of my Halloween decor along with a few simple DIY projects and all of my tips on how I'm going to achieve this spooky, haunted manor look. So let's get started. So my first tip is to use what you have. I went around my house gathering objects that weren't necessarily scary, but I could use to achieve the aesthetic I wanted. So I got candlesticks, old books, little statues, and like cloth that I could use to hang on things. Now when you're going shopping, it's important to have your theme in mind. I don't particularly like gory decorations like bloody limbs, so I was going to stay away from things like that. I ended up picking up this Spanish moss from the dollar store, and it came in real handy for decorating the centerpieces, and I wish I got more, so get more than you think you need. Frames to go with these hologram. Look at, they change, so I think these are pretty dang cool. And they had some fuzzy spiders. I couldn't find spider web anywhere, like Hobby Lobby didn't have anything, Lowe's, Home Depot. This really creepy rat, bird cage, like this palm sign. It's just cardboard, but it looks really good from the front, so I think that'll look good as like backdrop. So my biggest challenge was making my bright white fireplace look spooky, so that's the first thing I decided to tackle. And right here we are hanging a curtain that I had just laying around just to cover up the mirror, because this doesn't look vintage or antique, and I ended up hanging some of that spooky cloth on top of this to overlay it, so it really had that abandoned look. So I ended up using black paint in flat to age the chargers, because I wanted a little bit more aging than the glaze was giving me. The glaze was really good for the face with lots of detail, got in there really well, but since these plates are flat, it wasn't giving me the glaze, so this is the paint. And I must say, the tip is to leave a space not painted so that you can grab onto it and wipe off, because I was having trouble with my fingerprints, so pro tip. So I know how wide I can make my table centerpiece. So this is kind of like my base, and then I will focus. I'm gonna add on from here, but make it not more long than wide, so that we have enough space for our appetizer or bread plate plus our water glass. So right here I downloaded a few pages for a witch spell book, and I am aging it using some coffee and a paper towel. Most people like to use tea bags, but I always have coffee laying around, and I love the smell of coffee too, so that's what I'm doing here. Once the pages were dry, I just glued them into an old book. Now the secret to making spider webs like this look authentic is to make it really thin. The best way I found is to start at the corner and pull in both ways and spread it out so it's super thin. Spread it out so it's really thin. That way it looks more realistic. Tip number 2, plan your menu. I wanted my dinner menu to be elegant but creepy. So I really thought ahead and tried to determine how I could incorporate spooky elements into each and every dish to create an overall experience. So the charcuterie board was the appetizer, and for the entrees I served tomato basil soup, black shrimp pasta, and devil's food cake. Let's go over some of the details of this space. Right here I created a faux wall to create a more intimate dining experience and to have separation so my guests couldn't see the meals I was preparing. For the wall, I added additional family photos and tilted them on their sides. This is actually a plant stand, but I thought it would work great as a cauldron. I added dry ice to it, as well as the ice bucket, and this candelabra had a little tray at the bottom so I could add dry ice to that as well. For the fireplace, I started out with the old curtain, and then I layered several packs of that creepy cloth. I also had an old dresser mirror which I antiqued to give it that vintage look. Next to the fireplace, I sat a skeleton dressed in an old wedding dress. This dress is actually haunted, and I was sure to mention it during dinner. Tip number 3, create a killer playlist. This is very important. A good playlist creates the mood and ambiance for the night. I created an eerie playlist by searching YouTube. I will link the ones that I found and used down below. The last thing I want to mention is to engage as many senses as possible. So apart from lighting candles, I also burned sage and lit incense to add to the overall ambiance. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you thought of my dining room transformation. Bye guys, have a spooky Halloween.